So, Ruby, when you're watching TV, do you pay attention to the idents that are being shown?
Not necessarily because they're so short, but sometimes if they're quite interesting, like some on BBC are quite interesting, so I'll watch those.
Cool. What would make you pay more attention to watching them?
I think if it was something different, like outside of everyday life, so there's one on BBC that's like footballers kicking a ball constantly inside. That one's interesting.
What do you expect to see and hear when an ident comes on?
I expect something that's quite simple to understand and like sounds that are just quite like mundane.
And from my ident examples, what do you like and dislike about the sweets?
I really like Sweet Theme 2, the autumn one, because I feel like it would have a good like fire crackly sound with the marshmallow. But like I dislike how like similar the breakfast foods one are.
Okay. How informative do you think they are?
Yeah, I think you did a good job of telling me about them.
Do you think they're entertaining?
I'd sit and watch them. Definitely the marshmallow one, obviously.
Can you give any examples of idents like shown on today's TV?
Isn't the one with like a duck? Like a rubber duck. Loads of rubber ducks.
On ITV?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. What foods do you associate with spring, summer, autumn and winter?
Probably like summer I'd associate like a glass of lemonade in the sun, and then like winter probably like a hot chockey.
Yeah. And finally, what programmes would you expect to see when watching Channel 4?
Sort of like documentaries, sort of quite informative things.
Okay, thanks Rubes. So Bartek, do you know what an ident is?
Yes, it's the thing that comes up like before the programme starts with like the channel name and also between adverts.
Okay, so what do you expect to see and hear when an ident comes on?
Well, when an ident comes up, well, either like before the programme, I expect the programme to start obviously, and also like in between when there's adverts, usually when the ident shows up, like the advert after it, the programme starts again. So when the ident's on in between, like in the advertisement breaks, you expect the programme to start fairly soon.
From the idents that I've shown you, which ones do you like and dislike?
I like the circle theme because the examples that you gave are like pretty realistic. Like, but like the breakfast foods one, where like the apples in the shape of the Channel 4 logo, like I just don't see how that would happen in real life. So like, I mean, I know it's not about realism, but you know, it's. And then there was circles, breakfast foods, and Melton. Melton was good. Melton was good because all the examples that you gave, they do happen, so people can like associate with that.
Okay, good. How informative were the ident examples?
Pretty informative, I reckon. Like the examples that you gave, like links to the season, so people can make links as to like what the season is.
Did you find them entertaining? Would you like if they were shown?
Some of them, I guess. I mean, personally for me, like they're not like really entertaining, but they get the message across, and that's the most important thing. So.
Do you know any other idents apart from the examples that I've shown you?
Well, like for Channel 4, just very.
Yeah.
Well, I remember like one where there's like, it's like, you know, like at the place where all the creators are, and like all the creators moved from Channel 4 logo.
Yeah. What foods do you associate with the seasons?
Which one?
All of them, spring, summer, autumn and winter.
Alright, so for spring, probably like fruit and all that. Like spring, summer, like pretty similar because you know, like it starts to like becoming season and stuff. So you eat that, and then like autumn and winter, you tend to like eat like your more unhealthy foods, like you know, because it's colder and like you want your comfort food, don't you? Whereas in spring and summer, like as it gets warmer, then you're more open to eating like salads and fruit and all that.
When you're watching Channel 4, what programmes do you expect to see?
Well, I don't watch Channel 4 that much, but from what I do, I expect there's quite a lot of documentaries on Channel 4 anyway. There's some sport, like horse racing and stuff, but primarily actually documentaries is what I expect to see.
Okay, thanks Bartek. Okay, so Mum, when you're watching TV, do you pay attention to the idents that are being shown?
No, not really.
What would make you want to watch them and interact with them?
Catchy tune, bright colours.
Is that it? Anything else?
Don't know.
From my ident examples, which ones do you like and dislike?
I liked the ice cream one, and the snowman one.
The
Oh.
melting theme.
Yeah, the melting ones. Yeah,
What did you dislike about the others?
didn't dislike them. Just thought that one was best.
Okay. How entertaining did you think they were?
Yeah, if you could jazz them up and put some catchy music on.
From watching TV, can you remember if you have ever seen any idents or like engaged with them?
No.
So you can't give any examples of what you've seen?
No.
Okay, that's fine. What foods do you associate with all 4 seasons?
Easter eggs or crumpets with maybe spring, summer fruits and ice creams, autumn roasted vegetables and pumpkins and soup, and winter roast dinners and Christmas dinner.
Okay. When you're watching Channel 4, you don't really watch Channel 4, but if you were to watch Channel 4, what programmes would you expect to, what type of programmes would you expect to see?
Documentaries,
Anything else?
some comedies.
Okay. Right, thanks Mum.
Right.
So, when you're watching TV, like, do you pay attention to idents and do you know what they are?
I do, now that you've explained what an ident is. I didn't know that's what they were called, but I'm aware of them. And now I've seen your illustrations, I can think of lots of different ones that I've seen on TV.
Yeah. What do you expect to see and hear when watching them?
Well, it'll give you information on the programme that's coming up next, or a programme that might be coming on later that evening, and also it confirms which channel you're watching.
Yeah. From my ident ideas that you've seen, what do you like and dislike about them?
I really liked the round themes where you had the different foods for each season. I liked that they were all different but all in a theme. BBC did something similar where they had things that were like all round, and you know, I thought that was really cool. The only thing maybe I didn't like is that maybe the idea has come from sort of the stuff that you've seen. It might be a bit similar. I think there might be a Channel 4 one where they sprinkle coffee, you know, hot chocolate on the top of a coffee or something.
Yeah. Did you think they were entertaining or informative?
Yeah, very informative. Made me hungry. I want to go and eat eggs now.
What foods do you associate with spring, summer, and autumn and winter?
Well, I'm a terrible cook and buy whatever ready meals are seasonal, but more drinks. So for like winter, I think about mulled wine. Spring, gin and tonics. Summer, beers on the beach, barbecues, and then autumn, where's the nights are drawing in, a nice glass of red wine.
Yeah. And when you're watching Channel 4, what programmes would you expect to be on that channel?
I'm not a massive Channel 4 watcher, but I watched Bake Off. So
Yeah.
I would say Bake Off, maybe The Simpsons might be Channel 4, and I do watch some American comedy rubbish in the morning, like Raymond and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe Big Bang, that might be Channel 4, I don't know.
Thank you, Auntie Ange.
You're welcome.
So, Auntie Anna, do you watch idents when they're being played on TV?
Sort of, sometimes.
What would you expect to see or hear when they come on?
Music, talking, yeah.
Yeah, from the ident examples that I've shown you,
Yep.
which ones do you like and dislike?
I think my favourites are the breakfasts.
Yeah. Do you feel like they're informative and entertaining, or
Yeah,
yeah?
yeah, fine.
And with all 4 of the seasons, what foods would you associate with them?
Spring, I would say eggs or pancakes, hot cross buns. For summer, I would say fruits and salads and barbecues. Autumn, I would say jacket potatoes and chilli and marshmallows and soup. And for winter, Christmas pudding. Christmas pudding. Comfort food.
Yeah, and if you ever watch Channel 4, do you watch Channel 4?
Not really.
What kind of programmes would you expect to see on Channel 4?
Documentaries and sometimes comedies.
Yeah.